This show is brought to you by PIVX, Private Instant Verified Transactions. With its groundbreaking zero-coin staking and masternodes, PIVX is the top privacy currency. Feel free to trade some on Binance or Bittrex. And for more information, go to www.pivx.org. Hello and welcome to Token TV Plus. We've been away for a little while. I think me, Tom White and Crypto C, we've been left in the lurch a little bit by a lot of people going on their summer holidays, haven't we, Crypto C? But we're still here working hard.
Yep, it's been a tough few weeks. We've missed out on a couple of guests, but hopefully we'll get them in September and keep it cracking. Yeah,
that's it. They've been on well-deserved holidays. That's what it's been, and that is fair enough. Now, Crypto C, we've got an exciting guest today. Can you do the introductions, please?
Okay, so today we've got a young man who goes by the name of Rhubarbarian in and around crypto circles, but his actual name is Chad, and he's a branding specialist, and he's the founder and head honcho in charge of Rhubarb Media.
Chad, how are you getting on?
Hey guys, great to be on. Going well.
We've had a few technical issues, haven't we? Actually putting through, but it is worth the wait. We're delighted to have you on Token TV Plus today. What we always start with, Chad, is just by asking you about your working background.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm known as Rhubarbarian, but you can call me Chad. I come from a long history of creative communications. 25 years of working in that, but the last half of that, I started a company called Rhubarb Media back in 2006. So we're a creative studio in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. But my previous career was involved in youth pastoring, youth and adults. So I was kind of in the church world for about 15 years, but doing creative communications, and then I slipped over into media marketing professionally for the last half of that. So yeah, that's
absolutely fascinating. I didn't realize that you started in the church. So I mean, why the switch around? We've not had anyone with that background.
Well, I come from a long history. So my grandpa, my dad, and myself were all pastors. And even actually my younger brother is still a pastor right now. So we come from a legacy of teachers and counselors. But the last position I was in the States, happened to be in Germantown, Maryland, when 9/11 hit, and we experienced all that down there as working with the church. And probably a year or so later, our visa ran out because I am Canadian. And I was working there as a creative communication specialist, doing media marketing and design and music. And when we came back to Canada, I just decided I've got some skills. I know how to do some things in design. And so we started a little company called Rhubarb, and just went from there. So just gone from, full-time professional church to being full-time professional corporate guy. But obviously it's part of my upbringing.
Crikey, we could do it. We could do a whole podcast just on that.
Yeah, we probably should move on. But that can take a while.
No, absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed learning about that. See, that took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it. Can you just explain how you got into crypto then? With that background, why crypto and how?
So my entry into crypto is through a buddy of mine who asked us to help him with a small project. As that time he was working with the Dash community. And so we started to brainstorm a little bit, and then soon after they were like, hang on a sec, why don't we introduce you to this new entity, this new crypto called Darknet. Actually, he didn't actually tell me the name yet. He just said, you have this new coin that needs to be rebranded or renamed and rebranded. And of course, when I said, what's the company or the coin, and they said Darknet, and of course I was like, yeah, we should rebrand that, rename that. January 1st of 20.
Doesn't sound fully legal, that, does it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if yeah, it wasn't going to go if we wanted to get into mainstream, I thought. So we did some brainstorming with the community that was there at the time, founders and developers, and January 1st of 2017, I think we officially launched as PIVX, private instant verified transaction. And in March of 1st of that year, we launched the website, and then me and my team basically were pretty full on for about 10, 11 months. And we all know the ride that a lot of coins took in 2017. And so that was our entry and our introduction to PIVX.
So when you talk about the rides that things took in 2017, how have the kind of ups and downs of things affected you?
Crypto is an interesting planet. It's its own system. Solar. It was amazing, actually. I love a challenge, and our team loves to be creative. And cryptocurrency, the whole market and marketing of crypto, was a great challenge for us. And the ups and downs can really take it out of you. So the intense emotion that happens within any kind of financial company, if we could say that, there's a lot of emotion. So that can take its toll on anyone. So that was probably the only, the hard part of being part of cryptocurrency market and marketing is the emotions that happen. And as you know, and a lot of people can attest to, when things go wrong or something dips, marketing's always a great scapegoat. So we took it, you take it at stride, and our team has had a great run with PIVX.
Brilliant. Well, we've established, that your strength, is with the branding. What do you think is the best sort of branded product in the crypto space, in your opinion?
PIVX is awesome. I'm just kidding. So it's hard.
I know Crypto C's happy for you to say that.
Yeah. Of course, I'm a little biased, but when we researched in launching the brand, it wasn't a lot of cryptos in the space that I was really attracted to or thought they were doing a great job at branding. Some were doing decent at attracting attention, but when it comes to like pure marketing branding, not a lot were doing it. I thought Dash was doing a really good job in their communications. Their videos were going strong, and so that was my first introduction was Dash. So I took a look at their marketing and saw that they were doing a decent job. But overall, I would say not many do branding very well. A lot of them get attention really well. So, and maybe as we go on in this conversation, we could talk a little bit about branding in general.
Yeah, well, actually, well, you know what? Let's do that now, because things change in any walk of life very quickly, year to year, week to week, day to day, whatever.
Yep.
I mean, do you think that the branding styles are changing, and as the industry matures, I suppose?
I think the issue can be just in the definition and terminology, because visually there are a few that look good, and there's corporations and companies and coins that have good looking logos, but branding is not all about the look. It's about the message, the narrative, the vibe, the community. So those are the things that I look at when I think of like what's good branding. I look for a kind of a holistic approach to helping your market fall in love with you. I mean, that's what ultimate branding accomplishes. I would say, I have a good relationship with the ad bank guys. So I would say ad bank is doing a great job at branding. Not a huge fan of their visual logo, but overall the marketing is great. My favorite marketing styles tends to always include the opportunity to evoke emotion. Some might say story and emotion have no place in advertising. I would say they're dead wrong, because good marketing is all about narrative. It's all about story. You're joining your customers story. You're asking them to join yours. It's really all about that. And so that's where I think that when you think about is the industry going to change and is branding going to change? The industry will change. Branding strategies, I think, are, I would think, timeless. When you boil them down to the raw elements, they're timeless. The market changes, but the methods of successful branding, I just don't think change much. The goal is you have to have your market fall in love with your brand, period. So those are the things that good branding companies do. They try and help their customers experience them, as opposed to just buying their product and using it because it works.
So I suppose that doesn't sound like it's any different in the crypto world than in the non-crypto world. Would that be
Exactly.
fair to say?
Yeah, and I think that was a revelation when I came in. A lot of people was like, well, you have no experience in crypto. And I'm like, well, as I dig around here, it looks like you need my experience in non-crypto marketing, because it seems like there was this element of, well, crypto is a different market. It's a different animal, and you have to market it differently. And I realized that there was a missing component in all the other coins that we're marketing, that, you know, they were just missing the boat on what it means to build a community, to have people fall in love with your brand, to create a tribe-like feel so that there's devotion. And that's just, yeah, it's just not always there.
In crypto, see, I know that, I mean, Chad is the expert here, but you speak to a lot more people than I do in this field. And I mean, how important is the branding to you? As someone who's not an expert in branding, how important is the branding to you?
Well, yeah, see, this is the thing. It's strange. And Chad is one of these guys. I know him quite well. He's one of these guys who's probably a little bit too humble. So what he didn't say is that when he actually joined Darknet, as it was then, it was maybe in about 160th place or something like that. But it was closer to 200 than it was to 100 in the overall rankings of cryptocurrencies. And then with this change in branding, it allowed us to really get our message out there in a way that a lot of people could understand, appreciate, and join, like a vibe. Like, it created a whole vibe. And until that point, I guess there was Dogecoin, which had done that before, but until that point, I hadn't seen any project really capitalize on branding alone. And we went from 160th, I think, to as high as 9th. So it was one of the biggest upswings a project has had. It was the biggest one I've seen sustained, because it's not that we went to 9th and we went back to 100 and something. We went to 9th and then we was there for a sustained period of time. And I think also another thing with branding in crypto is that because the market is so immature, often there'll be other forces outside which will do so much more than branding ever possibly could. And there's nothing that you can do against those things. Like, you have some kind of regulation be passed, and it doesn't matter how well you brand, your project's gonna get dumped. So I guess it depends on what you see as success. Like, if it's coin price, which is probably a bad way to measure success, then you can have good branding, your branding can be perfect, but then there could be some other things that just can destroy even the best branded products. And I think that's probably the main difference between crypto and outside of crypto.
So, Chad, it sounds like that history of yours in the church is why you're so humble about it, because that was high praise from crypto scene.
Yeah, it was, and I would say there's a collection of, elements. Marketing was, a part of it, but we have an amazing, if we're talking PIVX, probably the top dev team ever. I mean, they're innovating every 3 months. There's something coming out that's innovative. So I think a combination of good tech, new technology, and and a vibe and a community that was created not just from us. Like Rhubarb was an instigator, but we had guys like, Brian Snappy, come on to be our video guy, our face of PIVX, and started doing videos. So just a great collection of a combination of talent and vision. And really the goal was, to create a community. That was to build the brand, to build the community, to educate the public, to move into adoption, but really to have that strong community vibe. And I think we nailed it.
Yeah, well, we actually had Snappy on Token TV Plus in the past, Chad. Really impressed by him as well. Really enjoyed speaking to him. And something that we asked him, and something that we ask all of our guests, because this is a question that all of our listeners ask me, and they ask Crypto C as well. Where do you see crypto being in 12 months' time from now, and how will you fit into that?
Yeah, man, things change so fast within this market, and the variables are immense. So, whether it's government regulations or economy, or depending on what region you're in, like within countries, the drama is huge. I think, we're attracted to projects that want to solve real world problems and like helping the unbanked and so on. With the success of PIVX, we've been approached by many new blockchain projects, who like our style, love how we build community, all those things. But if we're going to fit into crypto ongoing, I think that's probably where we're going to sit. And I hope that's with PIVX as well ongoing, because we see the technology around the currency element of how you can change lives, do good, make a difference. Currency alone has that potential, but if you can add that to other blockchain applications, social movements, I think we're going to see, blockchain be integrated in a lot of the old systems that we've been used to. And I think crypto would become part of, our regular day interactions and transactions. 12 months, to me, that seems like 100 years when you're thinking of crypto time. Yeah. Because things change like every week. So who knows? I've told a lot of people I'm having the most fun I've ever had in marketing and experiencing the most stress. Yeah. So there you go.
This show is brought to you by PIVX, Private Instant Verified Transactions. With its groundbreaking zero coin staking and masternodes, PIVX is the top privacy currency. Feel free to trade some on Binance or Bittrex. And for more information, go to www.pivx.org.
Okay, Chad, so I've got a question for you. And obviously, I've worked with you for some time now, so I probably know you quite well. And I've always wondered, with you being such a quite a religious man, have you found it tough balancing your faith with the blockchain, and particularly some of the developments?
Wow, deep question. It's a great question, and the answer is it's easily integrated, because that's part of what, if you're any part of any faith journey, there shouldn't be a separation between your faith and your life and whatnot. So it's fully integrated. So I didn't see any issues. There's always with any venture or association or relationship where you have to kind of measure your core values against others, or make a decision. And I think we all make decisions based on our core values, whether you have a moral compass, so to speak, or you're yourself for the moral compass or whatever. We all base our decisions around some sort of deep core value. So that doesn't change. Whenever project I'm on, I decide if I want to jump in is it a good fit with my entire holistic approach to life, and cryptocurrency is no different. In fact, I saw an amazing opportunity to building community is what and wanting to be part of a community is like It's like a thing we all desire. And whether you're going to church for that, or going to the club, or you're going out, it's the same. So what I really enjoy about the cryptocurrency movement is we get to connect globally to people we would never run into on the street. So I'm loving the fact that I can talk to Cryptosi, we're in his region, and I can chat with Jeffrey in South Africa, and Wanzetti in Mexico, and Ryan in Thailand, and just be a good person and be a support, not only within the marketing, like within our professional duties, but also as just being people to each other and being human. Like, that's just part of any space I'm in. I want to make sure that I can leave a legacy of that person, was kind, cared for me, and oh yeah, by the way, he did all these tasks and services, and that was great. But in the long run, logos will fade and companies might fail, but you want to leave any relationship with a positive outcome. So that's where I can inject some of my core values, whether you call that religion or faith or just like being human.
Well, you're absolutely right. That was a deep question, Crypto. See, I didn't know you had that in you.
Once in a blue moon, mate. Once in a blue moon.
If it's all right with you, Chad, I've got time for a couple more questions, if you don't mind. And one of them's
sure.
a little bit more general. If there's any projects that you haven't been involved in that you've been particularly impressed by, what are they?
There's not any one particular project I can think I could just name off. In the last 6 months or so, we've been approached by 10 to 12 new blockchain projects, mostly looking for branding and marketing support. And the ones that I'm most attracted to are, those involved with environmental projects, helping others, get a leg up in the world, working with startups. Those are, I'm invested in those, and some of them I just have my toe in the water. Some I'm, full leg. There's a couple that I'd love to dive in. But that direction and those solutions to problems are the ones that I'm most attracted to. Solving real world problems, doing good in the world, helping people. And that's where I think, these projects that I'm working in, including PIVX, have that potential. And also just regular practical projects, improving the marketplace online, and around privacy and decentralization, and getting people together as well. So nothing in particular, but really just pumped about seeing lives changed. Like I said before, when I die, I want to leave a legacy, not logos.
Yeah, like it. Very nice. One final question for you, Chad. We're just pushing on with time. We really appreciate your time here.
No worries.
Very, very simple one. Where can people go to find out, more about you and what you're involved in?
Sure. So rhubarbmedia.ca is our website. I'm one of those. We help companies market, but I often market myself poorly. But you can find me on LinkedIn at Chad Ballentyne. But our main creative, place would be rhubarbmedia.ca. We're on social, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can find us all over there. I'm I don't know if it was mentioned, but I actually don't own a cell phone. So I'm kind of a weirdie in that way. But I'm always available somehow, and I'm highly communicative. So people reach out to me in the Discords and Slacks, and I'm available. So if anybody wants to reach out, give me a shout.
Well, when I mentioned the technical problems at the start, that actually was the technical problem. You didn't have what we call over here in England a mobile phone. So
yeah, seven years without a phone. The last mobile phone I had was a flip phone, and I ditched it, and I've been phoneless since.
I miss flip phones. They need if they came back in, would you get a mobile again?
Probably not.
Actually, what's your reason for that? Just quickly.
Yeah, it was, I lost my phone at the time and I realized that that was okay. I actually survived. I didn't die. People still could get a hold of me. I used landlines. And then it was about the time that the smartphones kicked in. I just saw this side of me that I thought I would get sucked into just the device and be non-social. So I decided to stay out. And then I stayed out long enough that it just was like, when I get a phone, like even today, I'm just frustrated because I have to use this phone. I'm just, how do you use it? So, yeah.
Fair enough. No, it makes perfect sense. Good on you.
I'm the only one in the elevator and on the street that's like looking around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, rather than walking into other people looking at their smartphones. Well, Chad, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. That was absolutely fascinating, especially about kind of like your life history as well as your work in the crypto world. So thank you very much, and Crypto C will be editing this and getting it out to our listeners.
Great. Yeah, it's an honor to be here and glad to talk to you guys.
Great stuff. Thank you again.
All right, take care, guys.